How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AngelsBobs Plus in our Factorio series. In the last episode, we finished getting our silicon wafers, the aluminum, and then the silver plate as well onto the bus. Yes. We got this thing set up so we can get the sodium hydroxide going for the aluminum. What else did we do? I think that was it. But now we're moving on to plastics. Plastic's what we need in order to get the transistors, which is really one of the crucial components we need to get the red circuits, which are pretty much the next hurdle we need to get over. And so right now I'm setting up the gas field and then the oil field. I'm just getting all the pumps we need made. So let's see. 10, 13 it looks like. Oh damn, we're gonna be one short. Also, welcome to episode 36. I think I got the number correct this time. I want to say I've never gotten the number wrong, but I've definitely said several numbers before. So we'll see if we got the actual number correct this time. I'm pretty sure we did though, so we should be fine. Alright, what do I need for one more pump? I need green circuits. Good thing those are now on the bus. So I can just come down here and buffer them over. Next thing I'm going to need is pressure tanks. I don't know if we've researched those. Yes, we have. Awesome. So for now, I'm going to just go ahead and get 2. I'll kind of show you. Let's get some pumps. Yeah, I'm gonna show you kind of what I have in mind for how the system is going to work. So the reason we're going to be using pumps is because I want to force liquid to go. So it's good. Technically the pumps act like non-return valves, so we don't need the non-return valves because pumps are going to force the liquid in one direction anyway. So it's a little bit of redundancy, and I don't know if there's a capacity limit on the non-return valve. Like a hard limit. So let's just go ahead and get, I don't know, about 4 pumps. That should be enough for now. We want 1 for the input and 1 for the output of the actual tank. So let's go ahead and, we're just using normal pump jack stations. It's not gonna work. Say there. I'll probably use ones this way. There we go. Right, so now we need to go ahead and pipe all of these up. I'm gonna just use copper because I have a bunch of copper. I'll say that looks like about a good midpoint. And so now we'll connect everything to this one. Like so, and then in a case like this, we'll just do something like that. And then let's go ahead and connect this side. We also have to connect the gas. So it looks like they're all connected. We'll have to power them all up, of course, but we'll do that once we connect all these. So, unlike in vanilla, which just has normal oil, right? This we have, I believe, 3. We have about 3 different types of, not like gaseous or gaseous items, but technically this is a gas. Then the oil is a liquid. And then there's another liquid, thermal water, which is kind of used for something else. That's gonna be in the way a little bit. Well, I'm gonna just connect that then. And then we'll just, I don't know. Yeah, I'll just do that. I know it's a little bit of a waste of pipe, but I think it's fine. Alright. So now what we need to do is we need to put these in a storage tank, but in order to do that we need to figure out where we want to put the bus for things. So technically we could put it on the south side, however that then limits this and how high we can build here. So I'm going to put it here in the northern section. Obviously we're going to be hemmed in by the track here. Yeah, we'll have these ore fields, but we can build around them, that's fine. means the lower limit is going to be here. Which, yeah, okay, could be problematic. Alright, let's just give ourselves... Where did those pressure tanks go? Did I not build them? Yeah, they're right here. So the pressure tanks act kind of like warehouses, but for liquid. They can store 350,000 of a liquid or gas. Let's see. So I want to say... What if we start... Yeah, you know... What if we start the bus about here? Because technically most of it is going to be ratioed out, or at least as much of it as we can. We're going to try to ratio out. Just so that way we don't have too much excess material. Yeah, you know, I want to try to utilize the space right here. So I'm gonna say let's start our storage devices here in this bottom left corner. Or, yeah, rather, yeah, because then we'll just jump over the ore field, and then eventually we'll come back and fill it with things. After we get this set up, we'll start to get it mined, just so that way it's no longer in our way. So let's go ahead and just, you know, I think I might have a blueprint. It's a super simple one, so if I don't find it right away, it's fine. But this might actually be it. So this was a 5 tier 1. I'll make a copy of it, yeah. So this can store considerably a large amount of liquid. So as you can see, it's going to be in the way of this right here. So what we can do is we can lift it up. Yeah, we can lift it up pretty much as high as we want. That looks like a good height. Because yes, we'll run into the... Ooh, perfect. And we won't run into the oil field. We can actually work around that. Assuming we have to go out that far. We're not going to store everything. Nor are we going to store every byproduct. So we might not need to. So we'll just say... Make sure we're high enough. Just do one. That should be good. Awesome. So this is where we're going to store the 3 primary copper. Copper's input, meaning we don't pull from copper, we only input into the copper. And so then we do 1 for space, just so that way we have a clear track here to drive on. Right? And then we're going to do... Now we could do something like this so that they all match, which we will do. It does become a little bit wasteful, but I think it's an acceptable waste. So now we have to pull them up and over. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we know where we can from these. It's all about planning so I have less things in the factory I need to tear up later. So as you can see, this is going to be a considerable storage depot for just different things we need. And like I said, I'm not going to store every byproduct that we gain access to. I'm not going to store every product we gain access to. And, you know, I think we're just going to input this down here. We'll still reserve those lanes up top for input-output. And, you know, I'm going to try something a little bit different. So before I would just do, okay, well, this thing goes here, and then eventually whenever I output it, will go onto the next available lane. I'm just going to do the immediate, so basically row 0 here, computer programmer, so row 0 is going to be the input. Then row 1, this upper row, is going to be the output, right? So it's going to pre-reserve all of the things. Alright, so if this is going to be input, this means this one's going to have to be a copper one. And then just, again, it is a little bit wasteful because we're using underground and we're not really extending the underground, but I think for now it's fine. Because eventually we'll have trains, but for now I will also do an input from the bottom. And we'll just do our input right up here in the northwest quadrant. Because we'll output from down here, right here. So that way it forces the liquid to go through the entire chain of storage. And then this is going to be a permanent pipeline down here just because of the nature of things. And if we need to move it, we will. And I'm not too concerned about things lining up down here. So then it doesn't matter if natural gas goes first, then the oil, or vice versa. Cool. So now we need to just power all our pumps, and we should be good to go. And the power grid for this is not going to look nice. We just will pretend we don't see it. Awesome. That helps if we attach that corner bit. Okay, and then let's go ahead and draw some longer power poles over. That looks fine. And we'll just do something like this. Something like this. Something like this. And then something like that. Awesome. There we go. So now both should be filling up. One's getting us the multi-phase oil, the other one's getting us the natural gas. Awesome. So the beginning of our PetroChem area is in the works, which is super amazing. So notice, so these pumps can pump at 4,800 units per second. They're only pumping at about a quarter of what they could be pumping at. I don't know if that's a limit of the pipe or the limit of the pump jacks, because that says 740 a second is what it should be pumping out. So I'm pretty sure it's just a limit of the pipe. Yeah, because you can see how it drops off pretty substantially. So we could just maybe chain some more pumps in here to force more liquid through, but I'm not worried about it. Like, as you can see, this one's already almost full, so that's fine. So now the next problem we're going to run into is how much space do we want to pre-allocate vertically for basically space for these. Now we know how many we have here, so we can at least pre-allocate this much, right? Similar to an array, we can pre-allocate our size here vertically, but we're not going to know how much more we need. This is kind of an issue. So, but we got to be careful, right? Because we're going to be hemmed in by the rail. Now, obviously, I guess we could turn horizontally and build this way, and then we wouldn't run into that scenario. But for now, let's just see how much I can get without compromising. I'll just use gray. So how many do I have? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, so that means I need 30 belts at least. So as you can see, it's not too terrible, right? 30 lines, not bad. Because that's all of these. So I'm gonna double it and say, okay, there's our liquid belt, that's it. Our liquid bus. If we need more than the 60 lanes I've now because these 15 have all been pre-allocated, so 15 in, 15 out, 30 total, and then an additional 30 so we can build another 15 storage containers, because again, I'm going to try to ratio as much of it out as I can and have very few byproducts. Okay, and then I'm going to follow the same principle of one of these, because I'm going to have some solid items I need, right? So I'm actually going to do two. The reason I'm going to do two is because one's going to be all the solids we need, such as catalysts and just other ores and or fuels I need. Or if anything, because I know a few things do have solid byproducts, just so that way we have some belt area. And then just an open one, just in case I need extra for belt, or just so that I have a clear space to drive on with a vehicle. So here's where actually our first oil area is going to go. So let's go ahead and get some basic refining. Again, this part's not going to be ratioed out just yet, so let's just do about 10 oil refining. And again, like I said, this isn't going to be ratioed for now. Eventually it will be, but until we know what we need it all in and kind of how much we're consuming, right, as an end product, we will just do this. And we won't really know that data until we start to use more things such as plastic, and we'll see. We could use Helmod to calculate, okay, how much resources do we need per second if we want one full belt per se of plastic. I'm actually curious about that now. Okay, we're gonna do it because now I'm curious. Alright, so we'll say plastic. Shoot by factory. This is actually different. It's normally, wasn't there a setting? Some of the limitations, summary now. So logistical information. How do I change the logistical information? Because used to, in my other playthrough, there was just a belt. Oh, display logistics row. So I want to say one yellow belt. Okay. Shoot by element. I thought we could say one. Well, with 0.1, then 10, obviously. Reducing that. So here's an interesting one. So now we get our first decision. Do we want to make plastic via propane? And yes, I know I have the bioprocessing, just for anybody watching who does know that we can get plastic through bioprocessing. We will do it that way as well, but I do want to show this method in case people aren't playing with it, because I myself have not played with bioprocessing in a few playthroughs, and then I also know people who, for whatever reason, prefer this insanity, so I do want to highlight both, and so we're going to highlight this one first, and then we'll do the bioprocessing one later. So we do have either naphtha production or we have methanol production. So the naphtha production requires these catalysts, which are fine, and I'll show both. Then we'll go ahead and say, I'm actually going to go and make a second line real fast of plastic by factory. Say 10 because that's one yellow belt. There's only one recipe for it. And then here we'll do the methanol one. I guess I could have put it also on this, but just so I can quickly click back. So then how much naphtha do we need? Well, conveniently, the naphtha is actually what comes from these. So we would need 72. So we're going to actually quickly kind of highlight why doing it this other way doesn't really make a whole lot of sense versus this way, which although is going to seem like quite a bit. And see, because here we can get the bioprocessing, right? So here's actually where the bioprocessing comes into play. So we can get methanol from cellulose fiber instead of having to do this with methane, because we could also synthesize it with the green metal catalyst. But notice 38 versus if we synthesize, 10. Or, if we do it this way, 150, right? Which is a lot. But there are ways we can speed that up, obviously. Speed modules and some other things. So, 38, and then I'm not going to do this one. I'm just going to kind of highlight it, and then look, we can do natural gas liquids, and then natural gas liquids, apart from this. So as you can see, 85, 68, 38, like these are going to be massive numbers of machines if we go this route. So we're going to do the other route that was a lot less. We're going to do the 10, it's going to be metal catalyst, and so now we do get a few decisions. We can decide to make it, okay, let's make it from coal, because coal's fairly simple. It is going to take 20, but that's fine. The hydrogen is another interesting one. So the best way for us to do it is going to be the purified water, right? But, oh, 50. So see, we're starting to get into a lot of very high tier machines, so that's where making the different ones make sense. And so we can either decide to switch them down or switch them into a higher tier. For some of these, for instance, actually I think the liquefiers have the faster, yeah, the liquefiers have the better crafting speed. So we can do a liquefier Mark II, cuts it down. We can do chemical plant, yeah, chemical plants are actually better, so let's do chemical plant. Cuts that down, steam cracker we can't change, the liquefier. We actually do the chemical plant, it's better. But as you can see, we can try to fudge the numbers a little bit here. We can't quite go that high, but we can at least go to there. So, and then even here, for instance, we could do, ironically, the production of water with that, but that's not how we're going to make water. We're going to make water the other way that I know how, this way, which requires 13, but we'll do the tier 2, so that only requires 9. So as you can see, to get plastic, it's going to be very, very problematic. And then up here, luckily, it tells us what we're going to be getting excess of. Oxygen, which we're just going to burn off. Residual gas, we're going to burn off. Saline water, we're going to void. And we have 15 bars of iron, which happens to be 1 yellow belt. But as you can see, the process to get what we want is very, very long and kind of a pain in the butt. The other way, with oil, as you can see, becomes kind of lengthy, because even doing it this way, sure, we could make the Mark IIs, but it's still going to be quite lengthy, and I don't even think can we make the Mark IIs right now? I'm actually not sure. No, I don't think we can. We could. No, we can't. We need red. And we're actually working on red. So the other one we can do is plastic. So here, we can actually get it through this other recipe. So we can use bioprocessing at multiple portions of the plastic making process, as we saw. And then plastic 2 requires pretty much a completely different chain of things. And these, just like the metallurgy, are much better recipes. They require a lot less things for us to kind of get going. But as you can see, we can actually get plastic through this method of raw plastic and acetone, which we can get from some of these recipes up here. And they can get further improved with more raw bioplastic, and then we can go as even as high as this. And notice how we can start to get 7 raw bioplastic, right? So it's something we can do, and that's definitely something we're going to look into. But for now, we are just going to do, we're not going to do this method because just of how much, well, actually, it requires 72. So I could cut that in half to 36 on each side. I mean, we could do it. It's just, I don't know. Well, okay, how many extra machines are going to be here? So 72 versus... So where does the chain split? The chain splits after liquid. Okay, so... 25, 30, 40. Before, I mean, okay, we're gonna make more machines if we do this way. I'm gonna just do the other way because I think we're gonna save on power. 27 megawatts versus 40. Oh, never mind, I lied. We're gonna be saving more power the other way. Plus, then we end up with a lot more byproducts we have to deal with. We have to deal with residual oil residuals. We have to deal with the base mineral oil and fuel oil. As much as this looks like it's simpler, it really isn't, because yes, we have fewer machine types we have to deal with, and like fewer steps in the production chain. The problem we run into is we have a solid we have to deal with, which is just going to get stored for quite some time. We have a mineral oil, which we're not processing yet, and a fuel oil we're also not processing yet. So that's 3 byproducts we have to then handle versus pretty much none. And we can actually see that from here. We only have saline water, which we're going to avoid. Oxygen, we're going to avoid. Residual gas, we're going to avoid. So 3 easy things we can just void. So pretty much no actual byproducts. And although, yes, we pretty much end up with the same number of machines, actually a little bit more, in quite a few more steps in the production chain, and a lot more things we have to worry about, and pipe and handle and stuff, it ends up saving us on power by about 13 megawatts. Well, actually it does tell us the number of buildings, and it does save us on the number of buildings as well, overall. Not by a lot, 126 here versus 109, and it's even better on pollution, ironically. So we'll just do this one. Yes, it is more complex, but it will work. We are going to go ahead and pin it, which is going to override the current pin, but that is fine. We'll just move this guy right here. Awesome. So then we don't need... What do we need in order to get... So we need methanol, which means we need propane. Propane we get from methanol. Oh, actually, no, we don't even need to process either of these. I just realized we don't need to process. I'm still going to set this up because we will need it at some point. But for now, we do not need it. I do want to set this up just in case. Well, rather not just in case, but when we do get a second input, I want to be able to handle it. Not having to worry. So we'll just move it over by 1. And same thing there as well. Okay. These are only used in oil processing, so I'm just going to put them down. I'm not actually going to hook them up or plug them in because I don't need them yet. But I also just don't want them in my inventory. So they will live here. So the next thing we'll do then is work on getting all of these things made that I need. We can't make the tier 2. I don't like whatever's reskinning these. I want to say it's the artisanal. I don't know if it's either the artisanal reskins, but it sees it as a tier 3 machine, but it's only a tier 2. So that's a little bit problematic and a little bit annoying. It got the electrolyzers correct, but I think it's some things correct, but not everything. Alright, so I need 9 of the Mark IIs. Alright, so let's go drive around and go grab the resources we need then. Without running into power poles. God damn it. It's fine. Tis is fine. Oh, but I do want to make sure I turn off those nanobots so I don't go driving around and accidentally turn half the blueprints I have built, or, well, placed into, constructed things that I don't really need. So we do need more brick. So let's grab what circuits I can, because I already know I'm going to need them. And then we'll head over and grab all the brick we need. So to make each one of these, I need 12 green. Oh, good shit. Oh, well, that's fine. I've plenty green circuits to make what I need. let's go over and grab the brick from the brick land, which I still apparently have deemed putting it over here made no sense, because it doesn't need to be here. Oh, but good, we have plenty. Awesome. Okay. But we are out of iron. Like, we shouldn't be out of everything. So there is all of those. So now, let's see, I need 34 electrolyzers. What am I missing? Just iron. Yeah, we're going to be consuming quite a large sum of iron plate. And it is that time again. So thanks everybody for watching. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys smash the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave those down below as well. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching.